Have you ever wondered why some of the most intelligent people seem to walk alone? Why they disappear from crowds, avoid constant conversations, and choose silence over attention? Society tells us that being alone is a problem. It tells us that happiness is found in groups, approval, and endless social connection. But what if the opposite is true? What if the strongest minds in history discovered something that most people never understand? Today, I want to reveal a psychological truth that may completely change how you see loneliness. Because according to Osho, there is a huge difference between being lonely and being alone. One creates suffering, the other creates power. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll discover why intelligent people often choose solitude, why society misunderstands them, and how being alone might become the greatest advantage of your life. From childhood, we are taught that being alone is dangerous. If a child sits quietly, people worry. If an adult spends time alone, people ask, "Are you okay?" We have been conditioned to believe that happiness comes from constant interaction. But Osho said something revolutionary. The moment you become capable of being alone, you become capable of love. Most people are not afraid of loneliness. They are afraid of meeting themselves. Think about it. The moment silence enters your life, hidden fears begin to appear. Unfinished emotions emerge. Questions arise. Most people immediately reach for distractions: phones, television, social media, noise. Smart people do something different. Instead of escaping themselves, they face themselves. That is why solitude becomes their classroom. The more deeply you think, the more you begin to notice things that others ignore. You notice fake conversations. You notice hidden motives. You notice people pretending to be someone they are not. You notice how much energy is wasted trying to impress strangers. This doesn't mean intelligent people hate others. It means they become selective. They stop seeking quantity and start seeking quality. 100 shallow conversations cannot replace one meaningful connection. The average person fears missing out. The intelligent person fears wasting time. And this difference changes everything. Most people spend their entire lives studying the outside world. Smart people spend time studying their inner world. When they sit alone, they observe their thoughts. They watch their emotions. They discover their fears. They learn who they really are beneath society's expectations. This process is uncomfortable. That is why so few people do it. Osho believed that true transformation begins when you stop running from yourself. The intelligent mind understands that self-awareness is worth more than social approval, because approval can disappear tomorrow, but self-understanding remains forever. Have you ever left a social gathering feeling mentally drained? There is a psychological reason. Highly intelligent people process information more deeply. They observe details, emotions, body language, contradictions, and hidden meanings. Their brains are constantly analyzing. As a result, excessive social interaction can become exhausting. Solitude becomes a way to recharge. It's not antisocial behavior, it's psychological recovery. Just as athletes need rest after intense training, deep thinkers need silence after intense stimulation. This is perhaps Osho's most important teaching. Loneliness says, "I need someone to complete me." Aloneness says, "I am already complete." Loneliness feels empty. Aloneness feels peaceful. Loneliness seeks escape. Aloneness seeks understanding. Most people chase relationships because they are afraid of themselves. Wise people build relationships because they already know themselves. And that difference changes the entire quality of human connection. Why do most people avoid solitude? Because silence removes distractions, and without distractions, reality appears. You begin asking difficult questions. Who am I? What do I really want? Am I living my own life or someone else's dream? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are also transformative. Intelligent people understand that growth begins at the edge of discomfort. They willingly enter silence because they know wisdom is waiting there. Throughout history, many great thinkers spent enormous amounts of time in solitude. Scientists, philosophers, artists, inventors, and visionaries often found their greatest breakthroughs not in noisy crowds, but in quiet moments. The world celebrates the result, but it rarely notices the solitude that created it. Deep thinking requires space. Creativity requires silence. Insight requires stillness. And intelligent people instinctively understand this. Attention is addictive. The more you receive, the more you want. But intelligent people eventually discover something strange. Attention does not create fulfillment. Achievement doesn't create fulfillment. Even success doesn't create fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from inner alignment, from knowing who you are, and from living authentically. Once a person discovers this truth, the need for external validation begins to fade. And when validation loses its power, solitude becomes easier. While others are distracted, the intelligent person is growing. While others seek approval, they are developing mastery. While others compare themselves to everyone around them, they are improving themselves. Solitude creates focus. Focus creates skill. Skill creates confidence. Confidence creates freedom. This is why some of the strongest individuals appear quiet. Their energy is directed inward rather than outward. The world fears being alone because it mistakes solitude for abandonment. But solitude is not abandonment. It is self-discovery. It is the place where masks fall away. It is the place where illusions disappear. It is the place where truth begins. According to Osho, the greatest relationship you will ever have is the relationship with yourself. And until that relationship is healed, every other relationship becomes a search for something missing. But once you become comfortable in your own company, something extraordinary happens. You stop needing people, and for the first time, you can truly love them. Not from dependence, not from fear, not from loneliness, but from freedom. So tonight, before you reach for another distraction, sit alone for a few minutes. No phone, no music, no noise, just you. Watch your thoughts. Observe your mind. Listen to the silence. At first it may feel uncomfortable, then strange, then peaceful. And eventually, you may discover what intelligent people have known all along, that solitude is not the absence of life. It is the place where real life begins. As Osho taught, the moment you become comfortable with your aloneness, you become free. And freedom is the highest form of intelligence. If this message touched something deep inside you, remember this. Being alone is not a weakness. Sometimes it is the sign of a mind that has finally stopped running and started awakening.